Good afternoon everyone and welcome to today's webinar. It's Mike that's going to be doing today's session and we do have Tom on the live chat. If you've got any questions throughout today's webinar, Tom will be on hand to answer and we will be sticking around for a little bit at the very end to go through any final bits. So what we're going to be covering in today's session is the new and improved stock taking module on the new version which is being rolled out currently. So it's not the current version that the majority of you guys will be using. This is going to be live from the next version. So there's a couple of bits that have changed. You can sort of search on a few different bits of ranges. You can basically now put the batch into the batch cost into the actual stock take rather than having to go into the product afterwards. You can basically do more bits with the warehouse if you have multiple warehouses or depots. And then finally, there is the actual stock take import. So rather than having to mess about with the module in Prima, if you do your stock take through an Excel spreadsheet, that's how you collect your data before you actually input it into Prima. You don't have to worry about sitting there for ages and ages and ages, actually entering the values into Prima. You can do it through the import template. So we'll get started. So the first option is actually just going through and using the stock take module within Prima. So if we go into stock and we go into stock taking, it's the same process as what you've been used to. We go into the available lines. You can see at the top there's a couple of options that you can search on a range for the quantity, the balance and available. So you could go into here, you could search on, say 0 to 10 or 10 above to find out items that you supposedly have a fair bit of stock in, so you can actually just search on those. But for today's, we're just going to be searching on an individual product. So if we just search for 464505 is just an example code. Okay, and then we can actually just highlight line and stock take. So the actual process hasn't changed much, it's still the exact same. It's just there's a few different options within the actual stock take itself. So if we double click into the stock take, the screen's a little bit different once we actually click into the product. So as you can see, you've now got the options for the batches in here. So you see the current cost, current unit cost, which will be pulled from the actual product and pricing, and then you'll be able to enter sort of your batch. So if we want to increase this batch or we want to put some stock in, we can come into here, we can change the confirmed quantity as usual. Now we can update if it's a different warehouse, whatever it might be, and it will finally list sort of your different warehouses and other bits on the left hand side and show you within the locations and the values against each locations on the left hand side here. So once you've updated your quantity, if you need to update the batch, you can come into here and go, right, whatever the batch is, it could be say £12.50. As long as you put it into the batch and save, it will update, and it will, once we complete this, update that specific batch. So you can actually put the costs in directly from here, whereas previously you would have had to go into the product, go into the batch records, find the batch in there, double click into it and update. You can do it directly from here now, and you don't have to worry about sort of going all the way through the product to do it. And you'd have to do that for obviously every single line currently, but going forward you can do it directly from here, which will save you guys a lot of time if you're going to be sort of putting stock in, especially when it comes to the stock take time. You don't want to have an incorrect stock take or incorrect margins because of that. So you can put that in straight away. So same again, once you've done it, you can just hit complete. The actual batch cost is the main bit that's changed within here, but you do have the ability to sort of update warehouses and whatever by selecting your warehouse if you've got different warehouses and locations within here, which is the same as previous, but you can at least see the differences on the left hand side now. So as I say, the stock take, it hasn't changed from Prima, it's pretty much the same. The only main difference is the actual batch pricing is available within here now. So as you see, we've updated that, and if we do go into the product and into the balances, it will have updated sort of through here. So you see we've got two batches. That last batch with the 2 was £12.50. If it was the same price, it'd have put against the same one, but there you go. It's put that batch in, the extra 2 with that value. So there's that. So now you've got that's how you can do a stock take from within Prima with the new bit with a batch. But obviously a quicker way to manage that is through the all new template, which will be available sort of from this version. So it should make your life a lot easier when it comes to updating your stock. So if we just go into here, this is the new template. So I'll just make these columns a little bit bigger for you so you can see what's in them. So you've got your item code, pretty straightforward, quantity that's going in, your unit value, which is obviously your batch cost, the depot, the warehouse, and the bin location. So you've got all of that in there, which will be available for you to send over. So you can sort of import it straight away. The unit value will be something that's new coming with this with the pack per the unit of measure. So whereas the batch cost will be handled sort of once you've created the stock take, once it's put the information in there, this unit value will sort of be either EA for an each if it's just an individual, or you'll have a pack. So if it's say a pack of 6, you'll have sort of PK within here, and that's how it will work. And what this will do, once you've filled out the information, it will import as an outstanding stock take, and then you can basically just process from there. You can double check that everything's right in the actual stock take within Prima. You can update any batch costs, any bits that may need updating if you've entered the spreadsheet incorrectly, and then you can just complete it when you're ready. And that's the stock take import. So this will be available from when you've been upgraded, and when the upgrades have gone out and been released, and you'll be able to sort of manage it through this for any of your stock take routines. So there we go. It's just a recap with the stock take. If I just minimise this, you can now put the batch costs into the stock take. The actual process itself hasn't changed. It's still pretty straightforward, but the main change is the batch costs, and then finally the import template, which should help when it comes to your end of month, end of year. Stock takes you'll be able to import it through this rather than having to spend a while typing in each code, putting the quantities in. You can just put it straight into this and then drop it in through the Prima V6 imports folder like you would any import template, and the EDC will pick it up and do the rest, and that will create it as an outstanding stock take. And then you can just complete it, and there it is. It's done a lot quicker than what it was previously. As I say, that's the end of today's session. If you do have any questions, myself and Tom will be hanging around for a little bit at the end. Now, if you need anything, just let us know. But apart from that, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.